we need to have a talk about UFC 310. A serious conversation about this card. Now, I want to start off by saying UFC 310 is, just looking at the card from start to finish, probably one of the better cards we've got this year. But there is a giant flaw with this card, and that is the layout. Who decided to lay this card out like this? Okay, this is the main card, but anyway, let's start off with the early prelims. I like this layout, okay? I like what the early prelims has going on here. I mean, you've got Chase Hooper, a fun fighter. He's in there against a legend in Clay Guida. I like that. A prospect against a legend. Early on in the card, Chase Hooper actually does have a bit of a following as well. And Clay Guida, like I just said, a legend of the sport. I like the placement here. Michael Chiesa, Max Griffin. I don't really care to see this fight, but Michael Chiesa, people know him from the commentary team or the analyst desk or whatever the fuck the guy works on now. But another legend, I'm using that loosely, of the UFC. I like his placement on this card. Next up, Joshua Van, a fun fighter, prospect to watch against Cody Durden. I like the placement of this fight on this card. This makes sense. Chris Weidman, Eric Anders, obviously was meant to be on UFC 309. This was meant to be on the main card of UFC 309. It's now the early prelim headliner of UFC 310. That there goes to show how dog shit UFC 309 was. But anyway, again, a legend of the UFC. I like the placement here. Let's go on to the prelims. Now look, this might be a bit far-fetched, but the prelims are arguably just as stacked as the main card. And this is where the issues arise with UFC 310. So Randy Brown versus Brian Battle. This is a really fun matchup to see who's maybe just going to sneak into the top 15 of the welterweight division. Two up-and-coming prospects. I like this. This is a fun matchup. This does deserve to be on the prelims. I'm going to be honest. I don't think this... Yeah, this wouldn't make it on the main card in my opinion. But this is a fun fight, one that should be on the prelims. This right here is an absolute abomination. This right here, whoever done this, you need to be put on trial for fucking war crimes. Why is Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling the second prelim of UFC 310? Now, I am this fucking close to smashing up my entire setup. Who came up with this idea? Who? Because I understand Movsar Evloev, Aljamain Sterling. In terms of on paper, will this be fight of the year? Absolutely not. But these are two ranked guys inside the top 10 of the featherweight division. This fight right here is arguably a number one contender fight to see who's going to fight Ilia Topuria after he fights Volkanovski in the rematch. Obviously, you've got Diego Lopez, but this is going to show you who the next contender is behind Volkanovski and Diego Lopez. In fact, the winner of this might even fight Diego Lopez in a title eliminator. That's how much is on the line in this fight, and they've got it as the second prelim. So anyway, let's keep going. We will get back to this fight, by the way, but let's keep going. Vicente Luque, Nick Diaz. Now, this fight is off because Nick Diaz is a bit of a fiend. Shout out Travis Scott. Yeah, I actually can't remember who replaced him here. Garimbo? Or have I made that up? I think so, but anyway, another fight that deserves to be on the prelims. Now, if Nick Diaz was fighting Vicente Luque, that should creep up to the main card, in my opinion. Yeah. Let me look at the main card, actually. Yeah. If Nick Diaz was fighting Vicente Luque, that's a guaranteed main card fight. Let's just be honest. Nick Diaz, massive draw. He would be there, right? Then this is headlining the prelims. Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith. I like this matchup. I like it a lot. Now, when this fight was first announced and it was told it was going to be headlining the prelims, I thought this card's going to be stacked if this is headlining the prelims, okay? Now, we are going to get on to the main card. I'm going to be honest, Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith, for what is on the main card, this should be opening the main card, in my opinion. Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith, two biggish names. There's guaranteed to be a knockout in this matchup because if Dominic Reyes doesn't knock out Anthony Smith, there's a high chance Anthony Smith is going to knock out Dominic Reyes because a fart could probably drop that guy. Obviously, he is coming off that big win over Jacoby, but there's still some questions that need to be answered about Dominic Reyes' chin, right? But anyway, let's move on to the main card. Nate Landwehr versus Do Ho Choi. Now, I need to know who put this as the main card opener, because I actually do want to land some of John Jones's vicious ground and pound elbows on you straight to your fucking face unanswered, because why is this opening up the main card? And before people in the comments go, but it's a fun fight, it's gonna be exciting, you know, that's why it's opening up the main card. We have got two unranked featherweights, I'm gonna say that again, two fucking unranked featherweights opening up the main card, when you have Movsar Evloev, ranked number 5, Aljamain Sterling, greatest UFC bantamweight of all time, ranked number 9 in the featherweight division, fighting over to see who's possibly going to fight for the belt next. You have that on the prelims, but Nate Landwehr versus Do Ho Choi is opening up the card. Do we not see the issue here? Am I just overthinking it, or do I have every right to want to roundhouse kick my fucking monitor? Someone tell me right now why this fight is opening up the main card. I understand stylistically this is probably going to be a fun fight, but to be honest, this could arguably be on the fucking early prelims. When you're looking, like, Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith should be opening up the main card over this. Guaranteed knockout in this fight. So you can't just say like, oh well, this is a better option because of the fight, someone might get knocked out. Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith, boom. Have that open up the main card. Two names people actually know. Guaranteed knockout. Have that open up the main card. Anyway, let's move on because it gets worse. Bryce Mitchell. I love Bryce Mitchell. Earth is flat. He is correct. But no, Bryce Mitchell, he is currently ranked number 13 in the featherweight division. Obviously coming off that brutal KO loss. It would have been this time last year, I think he got KO'd by Emmett. Or no, February. I think it was the February card. Volk and Ilya. Was February, I believe. I think that's anyway. He's coming off that knockout loss to Josh Emmett. Bryce Mitchell, I like Bryce Mitchell. He's a big personality. I don't mind if he was on the main card against someone higher up because he does have a bit of a following. Crone Gracie, what the fuck is this guy doing still in the UFC? I've got time to wait, so someone tell me. This guy hasn't had a win since 2019. And he's fighting number 13 ranked Bryce Mitchell on the second fight of UFC 310. Do we want me to rip my ears off and gouge out my eyes, or what are we doing here? This fight, prelims. Absolute preliminary fight, if you want to call it that, if that's the right word I used. This should be, like, I don't get this. There's no way you're telling me Bryce Mitchell is a bigger name than Movsar Evloev and Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling is a former fucking champion. What the fuck is going on? Also, you can't tell me this fight is bigger than Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith. What is going on? Like, UFC 310 in terms of quality of fights is great. The layout though is complete fucking dog shit. Crone Gracie hasn't had a win since 2019. Let me see. This pen has better striking ability than Crone Gracie. No offense to the guy. What the fuck is he doing on the main card in 2024? Someone tell me. I really just don't get it. I mean, like, the main card, now their last 3 fights, love it. Love the placement. We are going to talk about them. The main card should be Dominic Reyes, Anthony Smith, then Aljamain Sterling, Movsar Evloev. That is perfect. And then you can't say, oh yeah, but then because Aljamain Sterling and Movsar Evloev is going to slow down the card, but then right after you've got the heavyweights, Cyril Gane, Volkov, a great fight. You know what I mean? Now, do I think someone's going to get knocked out in this matchup? No, I think this will probably go to a decision as well. But still, again, so you've got this on, which is going to determine the number 1 contender in the heavyweight division. This is on the main card, but Aljamain Sterling, Movsar Evloev isn't. But you've got Crone Gracie, a guy who hasn't had a win since 2019 on the main card. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like I said, I love this pay-per-view. Probably, it's got some of the fights I'm most excited for. I mean, Ian Gary, Shavkat Rakhmonov, co-main event. I cannot wait for this fight because I know Ian Gary's going to beat him. But stylistically, in terms of what this means for their division, welterweight division, this is a really fun matchup. I understand the placement of this one. I understand the placement of this one. I do not get the placement of this one. And I fucking have no idea how Nate Landwehr is opening up UFC 310 when I've just named some of the other names on this card. It is insane to me. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Sort this shit out. These 3 fights are absolutely outstanding. What the fuck are these 2? Change this shit up. I'm hoping the UFC do change this, but it's looking like they're not. I mean, this is on their website. These 2 fights, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what are we doing with this card? I really don't get it, but let me know your opinions in the comments below. I had to get that off my chest. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I will see you again tomorrow in the next one.